Should you rent or buy? What does the average buyer look like? I got this answer and many more. I'm Marion B and I have a master's in accounting and finance. And I want to tell you, I was on the fence about renting versus buying until I learned all of this. I'm a finance professional, but I'm not your financial advisor. This audit is for educational purposes only. What does everyone think about renting or buying? There are haters on both sides of the fence. But today we're going to look at the hard numbers and I'll let you decide on what's better for you. Renting is expensive and so is buying today. They're both pocket breakers. Here are 3 fast common questions before we get into the actual numbers. I made little charts so you can screenshot and send them to your friends and torture them about your side of the argument. My first question is how much? How much do you have to earn per year to rent or own in the US? Private homeowners usually do not care much about how much you make per year, apartment complexes and things like that. So, these numbers are only for those corporations, basically, when you rent for them. So I asked a few people about how much do they think you need like to rent an apartment or to own a home. Most people said $50,000 or so to rent and to own $150,000. Here are the numbers. While the gap is shrinking as mortgage rates stabilize, averaging around 6.3% today, buying still requires significantly more household income. Let's look at these charts. Now, out of all rentals, the average rental in the US, that's like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, whatever, like just the average, it's going to cost you around $2,000 per month. And you're going to need about $80,000 a year to do that. Now, if you go into other places on the coast and things like that, we're going to use New Jersey because New Jersey kind of falls in the middle, maybe on the high side, right? Your monthly cost to rent is going to be $2,400 a month. And you're going to need a household income of $95,000 a year. That's not you by yourself. When I say household income, that's you and whoever else is on the lease. You guys are going to have to make about $95,000, right? Now, for a three bedroom, I put it on there because it takes the place of a house, right? A 3-bedroom, you're going to need about $2,400 a month, and since it's the same as the average in Jersey, the number is going to be the same. It's about $95,000 a year. That's going to replace a home, right? Now in New Jersey, the actual number is a wee bit higher. Well, like 50% higher. It's going to be $3,600 a month, and you're going to need a household income of about $145,000 a year. Now, the typical home, right? We're not talking about a castle. We're not talking about the smallest house in the world. We're just talking about a typical home. Right now, they're averaging about $415,000, right? So that mortgage with the average taxes, now things like taxes, homeowners insurance, things like that, it make this number higher or lower. But the average cost you can look at around $2,400 a month, right? So you're going to need about $100,000 a year to get in that, right? Now in New Jersey, with 20% down and a $415,000 house, even though the average house in Jersey, I believe, is higher than that because of our taxes, it's a little higher than the national average. You're going to need about $2,700 a month, and you're going to have to make about $110,000 a year, right? So check that out and tell me what you guys think about that part. First, could you afford this? How you feel about these numbers? What do you think? Now let's get into the actual numbers next. Okay. Here's the actual numbers. Here's like the metrics of what today's first time buyers look like. And it's reached a historic turning point due to high interest rates. We've seen people buying later and later and later and later in life. And also for people to buy, it's not how when, your grandparents grew up and your grandfather, he had a little small job and he was able to take care of a whole home. It's not like that anymore. The average home buyer needs 2 incomes. So what you're going to see is the average homeowners, they're married. right? And they also have, I wouldn't say super professional jobs, but more professional jobs because they're going to have to make significantly more than your grandparents needed to make. And because of this, since they're professionals, they probably took a little while to get married. They're getting a house when they're older and stuff. A lot of them, you'll be surprised in the percentage of them that have kids. And aside from having kids, since houses cost so much, you're going to have people that are like, hey, man, you know what? I can't even do this by myself or with the person I'm with. I'm going to have to bring mom in or something like that. And I don't have money. I'm going to have to pull from somewhere. So let's look at this data and talk about this data and see what we have and see what you guys think. Is this you? Let's look. What does the data look like? Here's the data. A first time home buyer. Wow, wow, wow. We're looking at what does it take today. Now, are you surprised about this? The average age, well, not the average, but median, it's a little different. We're not going to get into that now, but we'll just call it average. The average age, it's an all-time high. People used to be 29 years old, after they finished playing around outside, then they would go buy a house, just 29 years old. But now the average age is way up, 40 years old. Wow. What do you guys think about that? And also, a lot of these houses, since they're expensive, or people are not buying those $400,000 houses, they want something a little higher. Because don't forget, that's the median income. The house you fall in love with, maybe $500,000 or $600,000. A lot of those people are married, and surprisingly, if they're not married, guess who's buying the houses? The ladies. First time home buyers, a lot of them are ladies. That's up. That may be a surprise to some, not to people who went to college. Because when I went to college, I felt like there were way more ladies in college than men. But that's just me. And maybe it was just the college I went to. But that's how I felt about it. But I'm really not surprised at that, because now those people are older and they're professional and they're able to buy homes. Now, we're looking at the income, right? We're looking at $97,000 to $110,000 a year. And that's just to buy an average house. So a lot of these people are making way more than that. So what do you guys think about that? Does your household income break the six-figure mark? And if it doesn't, what do you guys think about the second one? Not the second one, but the next one, kids. A lot of these people don't have kids. Wow. Only 24% of the people surveyed had kids that were buying houses. That's surprising, because a lot of people want that extra space for the kids, the backyard, the basement, the extra bedrooms. Wow. But when you look at the next thing, multi-generational, what does that mean? People have their parents move with them, siblings, everything. Multi-generations are in one home. That's what you're doing to buy a house. We have a home, and next door to us, the kid, he's pretty young, and his parents also live with them. They help them buy the house. What do you guys think about that? They did what they had to do to get a house. Are you willing to do it? I don't know. Check it out. Now, the down payments are crazy nowadays, because think about this. A lot of people are living day to day. Are you really saving that much money? Are you really getting paid whatever you get paid a week and saving, 80% of that and just living off of, rice and beans and potato chips? No, most people are spending their money. They want to do nice things. They want to go on vacation. They want an electric car. They want to hang out. They want to do these things. And a lot of times they're not even doing anything super flashy. They're just living. So to save up $100,000, that's a lot of money. A lot of people are pulling this from their 401ks at school. Maybe they have some investments or something. The real estate has changed a lot over the past couple years. What do you guys think about this stuff? I don't know. It's a lot to digest here. We're going to see the actual face off between a renter and a homeowner next. So if you decide to buy a house, we're going to see who made the decision, the smart decision, the guy who bought the house or the woman who bought the house, and the renter. We're going to see which one is the better plan. Guys, here we go. What if you have money in your hand, you're on the fence about buying, and you want to put money into either the stock market or a house? These are the arguments we have at work, at the water fountain all the time. Hey, man, I'm not buying a house. I'm putting my money in the market. Or, hey, man, housing is not worth it. blah, blah, blah. We're going to look at the hard numbers and we're going to decide on whether or not it's better to put your money in the stock market for 10 years or to purchase a house. Now, all this stuff can vary, right? I know some people are super savvy and they'll say, well, I would have invested my money in this stock that surged 1,000,000%. But guess what? If that person was smart enough to do all that, they wouldn't be talking to you. They'd be living in Hollywood somewhere and they'd be super rich. Or you'll have a guy talking about a house saying, hey, I'd have bought a house on the water or this part of New York City, blah, blah, blah. And the same thing goes for him. He'd be coming to work every day in a helicopter. He'd have a gold dog and a silver cat, but that's not it. So we're just using what the average person could invest in the stock market and make real good returns, and we're using the average house of a person in America. Now we're going to look at it, but before I reveal these numbers, guys, real fast in your head, let me know who's going to win, the homeowner or the strategic renter. Okay, let's go. Now here's the chart, right? We're going to have the homeowner. He's buying a house in Jersey. It's costing him over $550,000. So it's a nice house. It's not super duper nice, but it's real nice. It's a nice house. It's comfortable. He's living good. Now we got the renter. He's going to take that same down payment and he's going to invest it in a tech ETF, the Qs. Okay. Let's look at what their monthly costs are day one, right? Day one, since this guy is in New Jersey, he bought a house, his mortgage, he's looking at about $3,800 a month, right? $3,800 a month. That's not the most, that's not the least, but that's a significant mortgage. This other guy, he's a savvy investor. He's only looking at about $3,600 a month. So the investor is winning so far, right? Now things change and things turn around, right? Because we're looking at what their investment's going to be worth after 10 years, right? After 10 years, the house is worth $820,000. That's significant. That's cool. I like that. That's a lot of money. But that's not all your money, because some of that money is remaining debt in the house. But that savvy investor, he has $344,000 cold hard cash. It looks like he's winning, guys. Let's look. Now, the house, you owe $380,000 off of it because you paid it down and everything's going down. This other guy, he owns nothing. So if they were both to sell their asset, guess who wins now? The guy with the house. The guy with the house has $441,000 while the other guy has $340,000. And in the end, even more surprisingly, a mortgage doesn't go up a lot each year. So the guy, he only is paying $4,000 a month to live. And the renter, he's paying $5,400 to live because that's how much wages went up. That's how much the price of eggs, gas, cars, everything went up in 10 years. That's how much that same apartment cost in New Jersey. So in the end, you decide, what do you think was the better investment? The guy who has a low mortgage, or the guy that has a high rent, or the guy who has cash in hand, $344,000 to invest it again? You guys let me know. That was a good face off. I think I got my mind made up on who's winning. If I get a lot of comments, I'm going to tell you who I thought won. So thank you guys for winning with me and watching my video. So in the end, should you buy or rent? I'm Marion B of the MBA Audit. Stay greedy, people. The end.